The Isle of Wight Zoo is home to 17 tigers, but that's soon to become 18. Over the last few days, animal manager Charlotte and general manager Greg have been in Florida rescuing 11-year-old male tiger Rambo.
Say hello. Rambo. Hey, we've come a long way to see you.
20 hours after leaving his home in the USA, Rambo has arrived in England, and he's on the last leg of his journey.
We are at the moment crossing the Solent and en route back to the zoo with Rambo on the boat just below us here. So yeah, it's been eventful. That's an understatement, and we're pretty glad actually that it's almost over.
He's doing pretty well. He's obviously, you know, a bit upset with some of the journey and taken it out on some of his box because that's, you know, what they do. But you know, not a problem, and he'll soon be settling in back home.
Just yesterday, the team didn't think that Rambo could make the journey. His travelling crate hadn't been made to UK specifications. That problem was easily fixed, but there's no quick solution to the plight of big cats in captivity in the US.
The good news is that we've taken one big cat out of several, well, tens of thousands of big cats that are left in, you know, dreadful situations in America, and most of that is due to the fact that the legislation in the States does not disallow people from keeping these sorts of animals in you know, over 50% of the states there. So, you know, you've got an epidemic of a problem basically, and we got a taste for that. One of the sanctuaries that we went to whilst we were there, you know, we're doing a really fantastic job, but as they said to us, they may turn away 300 animals a year that they can't cater for. So you see the scale of the problem. We'd love to be able to do more. We'd love to be able to take more of these animals that are desperately in need of a good home, ex-pets, ex-circus and so forth. But then obviously our responsibilities always lie with the animals that we've already brought into our care. So we just have to see how things go, and when there is an opening, then obviously we'll pursue it, and there's going to be no shortage of animals, you know, hoping, I guess, that they would come and be able to live with us.
In less than an hour's time, Rambo will arrive at the zoo, and his rehabilitation can begin. In many ways, tigers behave much like their domestic relatives. But in others, they're very different.
Tigers love to swim. They have this phenomenal thing about water. They're drawn to it. I mean, water is very, very important to their survival, even though they get a lot of moisture from the meat they eat. But if it's really warm, sort of you're facing sort of really hot temperatures of 36 up to 40, tigers like to submerge themselves in water and get really, really cooled down.
Tigers are very hardy animals. In the wild, their habitats range from the steamy jungles of India to the freezing wastes of Siberia. So a bit of English rain doesn't put them off either.
They love it. You know, it's quite amazing because, you know, we get we come to work, we wrap ourselves up in the best waterproofing material possible, and you let the cats out, and you can have torrential downpour, and they're out there either lying in it or playing in it.
But the cats don't have to wait for a downpour to enjoy a good soaking. On hot days, the keepers simply take a hose to their enclosure. Big cats are lazy, and in the heat they're even less active, so the water is a good way to encourage movement. White tigress Xena is particularly fond of water and immediately spots the spray. Xena only has one eye and the sight in it isn't very good, so this is a perfect way for her to use her other senses. She can feel where the water is. And as usual with Xena, everything is tested by taste. Her sister Zia, on the other hand, isn't interested. She thinks of herself as a more upmarket cat, well above everyone else. Xena, however, is more than happy to muck around and get wet, but her play is quite gentle. Next door, Diamond's water hijinks reaches new heights. Tigers don't think like humans, and although we know he can't catch the spray, Diamond is sure that he can. In the heat, the cats need to stay cool. They do this by panting, but the cold water is a much easier way to cool off. Diamond loves to fool around, and trying to catch the jet stream will keep him happy for ages. At last, Rambo and the team have arrived at the zoo.
Home sweet home. Yeah, great to be back. Hopefully now everything goes smooth and within half an hour he'll be cozying down on a nice straw bed somewhere.
Hang on, it's okay, okay.
The first person keen to meet Rambo is the big cat supervisor, Paul.
He looks really cool. He looks much smaller than the photographs, because in the photographs he looks like Shandru size. And Yankee looking nice, like really small.
Rambo's journey took 20 hours, and apart from making a small peephole for himself, he seems to be taking it all in his stride.
He's coped really well. I mean, he's not had any sedatives, and that's quite normal if you're flying animals, and obviously they're at altitude, and the last thing you want to do is be giving them sedative because it means they can't regulate their body temperature properly. So he's, just by his own strength of character, I think, he's just actually been fine. We've been checking on him regularly and making sure that he's okay, and at the moment he just seems to be quite curious, actually, more than anything. He's relatively calm, so it makes our life easier, and obviously for Paul and for the team when they're rehabilitating him here, if he's not come here highly stressed, then obviously that makes their life a lot easier as well. So yeah, it's looking really positive at the moment.
15 staff have been called in to help move Rambo's box out of the van, and it's not going to be easy.
Because of the sheer size, and it's really awkward trying to get it out with machinery. We're having to put it out by hand to be able to get hold of it, really. It's as simple as that. It's not a very easy job when the whole thing weighs 1,300 pounds. So I'll leave them to that bit. I've had enough excitement for the last few days.
The crate now needs to be moved very carefully. Balance is the key, as Rambo could be moving about inside, and if it topples over, the consequences could be devastating.
There you go.
The door of the box will be lined up exactly with the entrance to Rambo's bedroom, allowing him easy access. But someone has to stay with the box and lift up the door.
I've got the short straw of actually letting him through, opening up the door, so hopefully he won't keep us in there too long and go straight through, then we can all go home and get some sleep.
In Florida, Rambo didn't have a bedroom, as the warm temperatures meant he could sleep outside. He's not used to going inside, so he's cautious about leaving his box.
Because Rambo's not being used to having a bedroom facility like this, so obviously it's a dark area for him. We can't really see anything at the end and to the side, so he's a little bit wary about that. He'll be fine. The guys are just going to get some meat at the moment, so we can put some incentives in there for him. But this often happens actually, and when you open a door to a crate where an animal's been for a little while, you'd expect maybe the animal's going to bolt out. Often it isn't the case, because that's their security zone. So he would have formed a little comfort zone in there over the last hours that he's been in there, and now he's obviously not too happy about coming out. So we've got to wait a little while to get our sleep, and just let everything happen in its own time. That's always the key. If you don't do that, if you're not patient enough, then you risk obviously upsetting the animal and blowing your chances of having a good relationship with that animal. So it's of paramount importance, especially obviously Paul and the cat team that are going to be working closely with Rambo. He's got to associate them with something at least neutral to begin with, and certainly not anything negative. So yeah, we'll be basically just, waiting for him to tell us when he wants things to happen.
So I think you'll have it up and hold it up.
Yeah, I'll just put my hands, yeah?
Yeah.
Eventually, Rambo comes out. The first steps into his new life. Looking after big cats isn't easy. They're lazy and love to rest. But to ensure they're healthy, they must be kept active. Cats are motivated by food, so at the Isle of Wight Zoo, the keepers create what they call enrichment to encourage movement. The 22 big cats living here consume a massive 30 tons of meat every year. And horse is a particular favourite. But living at the far end of the zoo are 3 medium-sized cats called servals. They enjoy smaller prey. They're highly specialised rodent hunters.
We've got to spend some time with little guys as well, which is pretty vital, making sure that they get a little bit of exercise, a little bit of fun as well. So on a smaller scale, we're doing a bit of pole PT is what we do with the big cats, and that works pretty well with these guys.
In the wild, servals are active cats, so keeper Paul is tempting them with rabbit meat attached to a pole. It's one of their favourite foods, and the pole should make them work hard for their prize.
You're not putting the effort into it, are you? What is that? Hey, it's terrible. You're going to fight for it. That was useless, do you know that? Hey? Out of all the things you've done. Shingy. Shingy. Come over here. You know you won again.
Well, it may have been a very half-hearted attempt, but Shingy got her prize, and she's enjoying tucking in. But as big cats are so lazy, it's important they don't overeat. So the keepers have to come up with enrichment that doesn't always involve food. This is a Hessian sack for Jaguar Chiquita. It's filled with hay that's been soaked in men's aftershave. I know this might sound strange, but as well as food, cats are also motivated by scent.
Scents are very important to cats, and what they tend to do is when they go around marking their territory, they pick up on other scents as well. They're picking up other signs from cats, from their faeces and their urine. This is very important. It tells them important messages, who's actually passed that way. Then they know if there's somebody in their territory.
Chiquita immediately sees the sack and is instantly drawn to its unusual scent. She clearly likes the feel of the Hessian sack. It's a material she can really dig her claws into. Jaguars have an extra sense to us. It's a sort of cross between taste and smell, which they activate by opening their mouths and inhaling. It's known as the phlegm response. Chiquita is clearly taken with this smelly sack.
That was a really good result. Really pleased with that. 20 minutes is a very good result for working with a Jaguar. Normally, we're not quite sure if you give them meat feeds and things, they don't spend very much time with the boxes that contain the meat. So we're very pleased because there was no meat used today. It was just the hay and the straw. So yeah, very good result.
Now Chiquita's used a burst of energy, it's time to catch up with some much-needed rest. After napping during the day, the cats have plenty of energy conserved to get to grips with their evening feed. At the zoo, this usually takes place in their night dens, but tonight it's happening outside.
Well, tonight we're actually in Zina and Zia's enclosure. We are going to do a bit of enrichment. The reason is because, well, why should enrichment just take place during the day? Cats are notoriously crepuscular, which means that they do most of their hunting at night and that, so this is a really good chance for them to see just exactly how they move about. And it's going to be quite a sort of interesting experiment for us as well as the cats. It's something else, it's something new that they're doing. And if we can continuously do something that's new for the tigers, we're gonna create a much happier cat at the end of the day, and that's our ultimate aim.
Zia and Zina immediately smell the meat in their enclosure. Tigers' eyes are designed to maximise the absorption of natural light. This makes their sight 7 times better than ours. Night enrichment opens up a whole new world for the cats, and Zia's natural hunting instincts definitely kick in. Next morning, there's some terrible news about one of the female tigers.
Well, real shocker. Last night, Paul was putting the cats to bed, the routine in the evening of letting the cats into their night dens, and Natasha failed to come in. So when he took a closer look, he found her lying down on the side by one of the huts in the outdoor enclosure. Seemed to just be resting, was in a quite natural position to be resting, but very soon realised that there was just no response at all, and basically had found her dead.
Natasha's death has come as a complete shock to everyone. Charlotte and the team need to know how and why she died, so vet Ian Green is here to perform a post-mortem.
We found that there didn't seem to be any signs of struggle in the enclosure, like, sort of if she'd been, digging in the ground. It just
right,
like
so just laid down peacefully.
Yeah.
And gone. Right. Okay. And previous days she'd been perfectly normal?
Yeah, she's eaten every day as well.
Right.
She's eaten her food every day.
Yeah.
Without any problems, so she's taken that quite well.
Right. She's in good body condition here. Her gums look a little bit pale and her tongue looks a little bit blue. That could be for a variety of different reasons. One possible reason with her dying fairly suddenly could be if she'd bled out internally. But we'll find out in a moment.
Firstly, Ian will look at Natasha's internal organs. If there's nothing conclusive there, he'll have to look at the brain. At almost 16, Natasha was an elderly cat, and she had arthritis. It's very common in older cats, but she also had problems with slip discs in her back, which may have caused her premature arthritis. Natasha's mobility was improving, though.
We've been managing her very carefully. She's been responding really well to our treatment plan, and she has been, to all intents and purposes, a different cat this year. We've all been over the moon with her improvement.
The team are sure that Natasha's back problems wouldn't have caused her death, so Ian continues his investigation. He finds nothing in Natasha's abdomen, so he moves up to her chest area, and he wants to eliminate one possibility.
Just check that she didn't actually choke on anything.
As soon as you open that, Ian, all the lungs deflated.
Yeah.
Would that indicate it would be a blockage?
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
She choked.
Jesus. My
She
God.
choked.
All that down the airway. Oh.
Basically found a large lump of meat that was halfway down her trachea and halfway down her esophagus. It had wrapped around in a kind of U-shaped bend. That really is bizarre. But yeah, I'm afraid she choked to death.
Of all possible causes of death, this was the last thing the team expected.
Yeah, what can you say? We didn't know what we were going to find, simple as that. You know, she had been perfectly healthy apart from her ongoing back troubles, but tragically they had been improving, and then it comes down to something as freak as a piece of meat. You know, obviously we're careful with the kind of meat that we feed them and the sizes of meat that we feed them. We wouldn't feed them a narrow, thin strip of meat. You know, that was a good size, normal piece of meat that we've been feeding for years. You know, we've fed thousands of times. And there was some reason why it didn't go down as it should have done. So it's a difficult one, you know, to deal with and get your mind around, really. It just takes time. It would be, you know, a little time for us to get used to the zoo without Natasha in it.
Next time on Tiger Island, newcomer Rambo is very taken with his outside enclosure.
He's been showing some strange behaviours, and one of those is actually grazing, sort of a tiger version of a lawnmower at the moment. Really enjoying the grass, I think. Okay.
And Charlotte is in Edinburgh to find out how the loss of the zoo's tigers can help in the education and preservation of this species.
So that when an animal dies of natural causes within the zoo, rather than just incinerating it and losing any value that that might have for research and for the benefit of those species, I've tried to persuade them to send their dead animals here.